Hello everyone, welcome to the show. And on today's episode of the show, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 biggest projects in Ibeju Lekki and Ekpe. And so to give you a little context on what I mean by biggest, I'm going to be talking about biggest in size of the project. I'm going to also be talking about biggest in the amount of investment that's gone into the project. I'm also going to be talking about biggest in terms of the scale of the vision of the project, what needs to be done, and what is planned to be done in that project. So sit back, enjoy, watch till the end, and if there's anyone that you're interested in investing in, let me know. So the very first, which is the biggest of all the projects, the OG of all the projects in Ekpe Ibeju Lekki axis, is Alaro City, and incidentally is actually sitting along the border. Is almost in between Ekpe and Ibeju Lekki. It's literally in Ibeju Lekki if you want to be literal, but it's kind of in the middle. And people don't know that Alaro City started every single thing that you're seeing in Ibeju Lekki, and that's why everybody's using Alaro City, close to Alaro City. And for a very long time, all people knew about Alaro City was that red factory. Actually, it's a factory that belongs to a food company that's there, has become the trademark of Alaro City. And Alaro City is a JV, a partnership between Rendezvous, that's a Pan-African developer, and the Lagos state government. So Rendezvous, they have projects in Ghana, they have projects in Zambia, they have projects in Kenya, they have projects in a couple of other African nations. And so they are developers, charter cities, if you look at it that way. And they had a JV with the Lagos state government. The Lagos state government provided the land for them, but they are the ones administering everything from the design to the development to the vision of the place. And Alaro City is the only free trade zone that sits along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. All the other free trade zone in the southern quadrant, the southwest and the southeast, they are at the other Akodo side, along the free refinery side. And so the reason why Alaro City is very massive is, first of all, it started with 1,000 hectares. And when they actually saw the scale and the size of how this project was going, they actually acquired more. So Alaro City actually sits on 2,000 hectares. To give you context, 2,000 hectares is 30,000 plots. And if you multiply by 600, that is about 18 million square meters. My math is correct. And so when you just start imagining the scale, last year in the Andela and Flutterwave guy, their VC Future Africa, they invested about $13 million to get 72,000 square meters there to build Talent City. You have over 60, there should be about 60 companies now. You have Aerial Foods, Boa, Stereum, Heavy Move. You have benefits like no imports, duties. So if you're bringing stuff from into the free zone from the deep sea ports, you're not going to pay any of those duties. And also the whole bottlenecks, because the whole idea of a free zone is that minimal interference from the state, local and federal government is to run in like its own government, so to speak, business government, so to speak. So you don't have any of those issues. So if you're bringing stuff into the country, it's going to be very, very fast, and you're going to be very, very seamless, and no extra excise duties, and no withholding tax on corporate income. Don't have any de-dollarization policy. So everything is denominated in the dollar. So if you want to buy land there now, you're buying it in dollar. If you have a property there, if you're collecting rent, you're collecting it in dollars. Everybody is transacting in dollars there because it's a free zone. And Dubai has over 30 free zones. They have free zones in the airport. They have free zones various places, and the different free zones have a theme. And so this is mind-boggling, and it's also a revolutionary idea for businesses, and lots of businesses with large pockets are taking advantage of it. And it goes from $133 for the low and medium density to $165 for high density, so depending on what you want. And in fact, they have 2 or 3 phases. They are done selling all of the land in the first phase. People are really taking advantage of Alaro City, and I dare say that Alaro City is the reason for all of the other amazing developments / estates in the Ibeju Lekki and Ekpe axis. Alaro City crawled so that others can run. And it was the first high impact and high budget estate in that axis. And people need to give Alaro City their flowers. They have a multiplicity, they have a diverse board, US, the UK, Nigeria. You have such a diverse board, so it's not just one man standing up and making decisions. They are making decisions, and the designer of the city is the people that designed the World Trade Center. So it's just massive premium stuff that are going there. They are building a main boulevard, which is an 8-lane road that's going to lead from Alaro City, the entrance, to Lekki Free Zone access. So that city is going to be something else. It's going to be something else. So if you can afford it, like I said, it's in dollars, 133 to 165. And funny enough, it is actually cheaper than the next project I'm going to talk about. The next project I'm going to talk about is Isimi Lagos. Oh, this is the biggest sustainable city when it comes to clean, going green, and what have you. And I'm going to do another video where I realize that people do not know, but posturing. Okay, I don't think posturing is the word. Aligning yourself with green initiatives, carbon zero, net zero emissions, and all of that is not just a propaganda item. Landway has claimed to have right now over $200 million in investments from partnerships and from investors. It's not something that they can do with their money, honestly. They want to do all of these things here. They want to have a tech hub, a tech valley where tech entrepreneurs can come. They want the city to be 100% sustainable. So everything you want to eat is grown there. There's no form of carbon emissions, so your cars are not entering into that place. Green travel, you use maybe use your Tesla or you use renewable energy powered sources of movement. So that really got a lot of investors excited. They even have guidelines for what you can build. For instance, when they released the village, they said 40% of your compound should actually be green, should be glass. I don't know if it's 40 or 30. Then they're not 40% of your actual building should be glass. Then they now said another 20% of your compound should be grass. So it's not the same thing, grass and glass. So a sizable percentage of it should be grass, and a sizable percentage of the actual building should be glass. So is that utopian? Is that unrealistic? Well, you are the judge, and the people that have bought into Isimi Lagos and also Wale, also recently announced an energy partnership, $100 million with a company to drive down the whole green initiative. So that's about the second in scale, massive in this axis. And so that's Isimi Lagos. Then we go back to Ibeju Lekki and honorable mention Itunu. Honorable mention Itunu. So Itunu is made up of Itunu Residential, and Itunu is also made up of Itunu City. So on the website, the company claims that it's over 200 hectares combined, and they have over 200 customers so far. So the appeal for Itunu Residential when Itunu came along is also along Lekki Expressway, which is another appeal for Alaro City, and it had a good title. It had a government allocated C of O, and they quickly fenced Itunu City, Itunu Residential. They had a very pretty gatehouse, and they had a basketball court just in front, which some people say was just a marketing gimmick, because why would people be playing basketball outside your estate? So if they keep that basketball court there, it's left to for people to decide or not. But it was a hugely successful project. People bought into it coming into the market at 16 million naira. Till he left the market about 26 million naira, 10 million more. But the good thing about Veritasi Homes, which is the developer of Itunu City, is that they always don't sell as much for the same or even greater value add than Landway. So I think Landway just shifted to more luxury sort of stuff. And I think that Landway's pricing so many times is not even in touch with realities here in Nigeria. And so maybe they are targeting international investors or diaspora clients. But even though Veritasi does more luxury stuff now, before they were doing kind of like middle income stuff in Abuja, they had the Kamba Wall court. Now they are doing premium stuff, and when they also come into the market, now their prices are cutthroat in Itunu City. Itunu City is about 100 million naira for the 100 million naira for commercial and 35 million naira for residential. And compared to other people that are selling 20 million naira and above, 27 million naira and above, and some people even selling before they went up to that much, we're selling 17 million naira, thereabouts. So it became very successful because of, obviously they also brought out, they wanted to do loft homes in the residential city, loft homes, fully serviced. They are providing, the layout was very impressive, and now also the layout in Itunu City, very impressive. A church, a mosque, garbage disposal, and the thing that now drove lots of investment in that region is that around that time, even though this has been a decade-year journey of sourcing for investors, people pulling out, the Minister of Aviation handed over the FEC approval, the Federal Executive Council approval of the Lekki International Airport. So since it was to be sited at Ayetoro axis, every project that was going to be along the axis, apart from the fact that you're close to Alaro City and you're along the Lekki Expressway, it had a lot of people rushing it. So that was one of the reasons for the success of Itunu, both Itunu City and Itunu Residential. And they are going strong. The company said that they were going to start start building after the elections, and we are rooting for them. And after Itunu City, another property that came into the market that was massive, and they touted themselves as the biggest resort estate, was Dukia Africa. Dukia Africa had all of the bells and all of the whistles. Dukia Africa, they brought a helicopter for their launching, there was this grand entrance and confidence, trust confidence to do the whole Wakanda ad, African print. She walked into the place. She was, it was just the whole buzz. People were buying Dukia Africa because it's going to be the biggest resort estate. And see, my problem with what we are doing recently with all of these big projects is that I don't know how feasible those 3D images and those 3D renditions are nowadays, because it's seeming like either somebody just does something random that's not really in tandem with, I think Landry took a lot more pains to actually make sure that the shape of the land is the size of the 3D rendition. So you don't just pull up stock images or stock videos from somewhere and just say this is going to be here, this is going to be there. No, sometimes it can be for illustrative purposes, but at least do that work and just show us, okay, this is our land, this is how our land looks, and we are reimagining it in 3D this way. But anyways, Dukia Africa sold till every estate, they have their own time, and after a while it fizzled off. I don't know the full stats of the total number of plots in Dukia Africa, but it was a very big and a massive hit. Nigerians here and abroad, it sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plots, so in size, scale, and vision, because it doesn't get bigger than the biggest resort, so it's targeting kind of like, okay, you come for a vacation, you have one-stop vacation homes that you can be there. There are lagoons, artificial lakes that you can do all this stuff there. That's what Dukia Africa was promising, and Dukia Africa reigned at that era passed, and then we had the era of Fairmont, and funny enough, it happened at the same time. Fairmont Estate, Tiwa, and a lot of other projects started coming along and Lekki Expressway because of the airport. So Fairmont is actually the first estate that is the closest. It's actually the closest to the airport. Most of these estates we've been talking about, they are at the right if you're coming from Lekki. Fairmont is actually at the left, and inside, closer to where the airport is going to be located. So Fairmont, it is a green project, and they already have amazing stuff that they've done there. The closest proximity, the developer has a good track record on delivering on projects, and also affordability. And so a lot of people rushed landmark estates, and they are still selling. They just left the pre-launch price, added about, I think, 2 or 3 or 5 million naira, but it's still a very good steal because, like I said, it's the closest to the airport, number one, and number two, it's a good title, and the developer has a good track record, in delivering, and it's something that you can invest your money in. And then we have Tiwa also. They became the cheapest along that axis. They came at a they undercut the market, so much so that they were selling almost 100 plots per week. It was that because a lot of people had missed out on Itunu when Itunu was just 16 million in the market for 500 square meters, and then Tiwa comes with 12 million, 17 million for 500, and 12 million 300 square meters, 17 million for 500 square meters. So a lot of people started going into. Then Itunu City was already 35 million. So why would I go and buy something for 35 million when I can buy along that same axis for 17 million? So they were the biggest entertainment city. That's what they tout themselves as, and they have now even launched a commercial hub. So how many have I mentioned now? Alaro City. I've mentioned Isimi Lagos. I've mentioned Dukia Africa. I've mentioned Fairmont Green and Smart Estate. I've mentioned Itunu City, and I've mentioned Itunu Residential. I've mentioned Tiwa Green and Green, Tiwa Garden Estate, and also Tiwa has a commercial hub. So there are other estates around and along that axis, but they will have to pay me for a slot. So here's your 10 top 10 projects. Even though it's 8, take me to court. Go to court. I know I say 10, but go to court. That's what that's what we are saying right now in the country, innit? So thank you very much for watching. Any of these projects that I mentioned, I work with the developers. So if you wanna buy it, it's still going strong. If you want to buy it, you just contact me, and let's get you started on your journey. So thank you so very much for watching. I hope you got value from this video. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next video. Bye bye.